Well, if you ever wanted to see the fall of America and how it would be taken over from within, you are seeing it. The collectivists believe this is their chance to take over. They have always been spoiling for a Civil War, Homeland Security fight with American gun owners and conservatives. And I hope you realize this is not radio theater. I have FBI. I have federal marshal. I have state police sources. You know, we've broken many a national news story. The Army War College is training against its main enemy, the Tea Party. That's Forbes. That's AP. I covered it in the last 2 hours. We got loaded police and military on the phone lines here. And for me, I mean, I'm right at the tip of the spear. You better believe I'm deader than a hammer if all this goes down. And I'm far beyond offensive, type stuff. In fact, I don't even want to get into defensively things. I mean, I think for anybody who knows how the world really works, you need to understand something. My only hope is if the globalists do try to hunt down the American people, it's not kissing the police's butts. It's like Christ said, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. The globalists plan on the patriots and the police killing each other. And if you talk to our other sources we've had on air and confirmed, you notice in this whole shutdown of society scenario, they have the police guard the local government district. Government bureaucrats and corporate heads live in certain enclaves. Even though in every major city there'll be lots of rich areas, notice they always live in just a few block area. That's because they're a mafia. And the police were supposed to guard them. The police were supposed to march out and arrest us and set up checkpoints with the Army and have firefights with us and mobile armored pillboxes. And while the globalists sit back in their little armed redoubts with police guarding them. Now, I don't have fantasies about a hot war. I don't have fantasies about, oh, I'm going to be this revolutionary and this is going to be great. Everything I've done has been trying to stop this. Everything I've done. And I hate watching people get played as fools. And the fact that they're going to try to cause a civil war where the police and military get killed along with U.S. citizens while we kill each other so a bunch of globalists can engage in social engineering and literally laugh at us, just like they have Shiites and Sunnis kill each other in the Middle East. And it's official Pentagon doctrine. To stir up, to destabilize those countries, to make sure radicals get in charge. Man, that's evil. So in the end, remember who did this? It was J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, the big banks that have all been caught laundering drug money, the ones that run the Federal Reserve, the one that run the Ponzi scheme. They want America under their control so that we sign on to all their debt, which are too big to fail because they're bringing us down with them, which was part of the plan. Now, we do have Doug Hagman. He's been having his email blocked and a bunch of stuff going on. His source, which is in DHS, is confirmed by my sources. Now, again, back during the election, I said, they're going to steal this probably for Obama. And I made jokes about Romney may win, but it was all staged. It didn't matter. I'm going to go back to your calls right now. Dale in Illinois here in a moment. And then Ron and Brian and Mac and Carl, we're going to get to all of you ahead of Hagman. But I want you to just understand something. That I told you, they're constantly saying they're going to drop this hammer, drop that hammer, to see who will go along with it and to get you ready for it. But now, I'm telling you, all the signs are there. And if you just joined us, this police officer in Illinois, a senior officer, who's in on these meetings where they're pushing this whole takeover, he was saying, yeah, now they go out to National Guard, small base, to do training. And usually there's not even ammo there. Now there's 3 million ammos, a 223 and 308. Yeah, it's 1.6 billion rounds. They admit for civil unrest. Folks, 1.6 billion rounds, that's enough to kill every American 4 times. This is a takeover. Let me read to you from the Congressional Report. January 10th, 1963, Congressional Record Appendix PP A34-A35. Current communist goals. Extension of remarks by Honorable A.S. Herlong, Jr. of Florida, in the House of Representatives, Thursday, January 10th, 63. This is from The Naked Communist by Cleon Skousen from Intelligence Leaked. Developed the illusion that total disarmament by the United States would be a demonstration of moral strength. That same year, they put out Memorandum 7277 calling for all Americans to be disarmed under a UN treaty. That UN treaty, that same treaty they've never gotten passed, brought back every year, is set to pass in March. This is the move. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Look, I'm literally like somebody here on a sinking ship doing this broadcast, okay? And people say, well, you know, what do? We can't beat them, let them take over. Folks, they plan horrible things for America. And a lot of you are like, well, I'll serve them then. There is no serving them. They shoot you up with cancer virus-filled shots. Dale in Illinois, you were talking about the 3 million bullets you saw and all the rest of it, and some of the other officers starting to wake up. Finish your point about, you know, wanting to stay in there because you're senior enough to be in these meetings. Give us any info about what goes on with DHS. I mean, I know from some of the mainstream articles, they're hardening all the facilities for martial law, millions dead, that's all come out. And then and just finish any other points you'd like to make about, you were saying you've got your phone tree ready, you know, if certain orders go out.
Yeah, we'll start with that one first. Yeah, we've got a phone tree that we're going to go out, and then from that point on, we've got some contingency communications that we've got set up. The only way they're going to be able to stop is to whack us with an EMP pulse. Two things I want to hit real quick. Number one, you're not the only one on that feel like you're on that sinking ship. And believe it or not, when it hits a fan, I'm probably going to be one of the first ones they try to take out because I'm probably one of the most boisterous. But then again, if they try that, they'll just make a martyr out of me because I've got a large family, and the only thing you're going to do is piss off about a 10 or 12 of my young nephews.
And remember, they'll run a PSYOP. They'll blow up a school and say you did it, or they'll.
Yeah, that's already. I've discussed that with people. That if anything nasty would happen, like, for instance, they would say that I killed my wife and committed suicide, I've already got that taken care of. People know that that's not the truth, and that'll never happen. So anyway,
same here, brother. Same here. Absolutely.
Yeah. So basically, I've learned a lot from you, believe it or not, and used a lot of. I've been stealing some of your thunder, and when I've talked to people, I hope you don't mind.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Our only hope.
There are people. There are a lot more people waking up today than there were, I would say, 6 months ago. My biggest fear is that I'm going to have a gas leak in this house, and the place is going to blow up, and what it'll probably end up being is a Hellfire missile hitting the place.
Well, exactly, but listen, here's the issue. We've got patriots everywhere, and God bless you, sir. I appreciate you calling us. Listen, we're going to move to other callers quickly now. I've been hogging the time. Listen, the globalists are very small, but they command the heights and can put out official stories. We discredit them. We expose them. They're moving ahead with this because they're in trouble. Their own internal documents that are public say this. I've talked about Brzezinski's book this year. He's one of the top globalist planners. They're trying to finish things because they're behind, okay? Most people in government aren't terrorists or killers. They've got to put out cover stories and get us to buy into it. Most people in government are upset about what's happening. That's why they have to put out this narrative and demonize gun owners. Let's go to another call here. Let's talk to Ron in New York, and then I promise I'm going to Carl, who's a Marine, Bryant, who's a Marine, and Mac, who's a Marine. Real quick, Ron, make your point.
Alex, there will now be a public service announcement type commercial with numerous members of Hollywood, actors and actresses from Hollywood, telling people that they should ban guns and that we should outlaw guns. I find this unusual considering that most people in Hollywood live in areas that you couldn't even walk through.
Sure, we've played the ad put out by Bloomberg. We've played it with 50 people, including Jamie Foxx that says, kill all the white people. He says, turn our guns in.
Well, let me go further. And they all hide behind battalions of heavily armed security for themselves. And I also found it interesting that some of them in there, one was Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow is not even an American national. She's a British citizen. And I find it unusual because I have noticed as of late this slight pattern of seeing British nationals interfering in the internal affairs of American politics and the American people. And I find this rather unusual, not only because they are not nationals of this country, but because they come from a country we fought two brutal wars against for our independence. one gets the impression that maybe they want to recolonize the United States.
You know, that's why we put out the petition that's almost 100,000 right now, saying deport Piers Morgan. And they're like, what about our First Amendment? What about our Second? You're a foreigner engaged in subversion, and I cited the Supreme Court ruling. Get out of my country. Look, listen. It's illegal for citizens to call for, say, making black people slaves again. It's called subversion, okay? And I'm tired of it, and Piers Morgan is a piece of trash who bragged on his own Twitter that he's here to conquer America. What do you think about all these pro-gun Facebooks getting shut down right now?
Well, of course, that's what's going to happen. We knew that was going to come sooner or later, and it's going to get worse because they know that the Internet is where patriots can put their message out, and that's where they're going to start to crack down more and more and more, using every unscrupulous and underhanded trick to do it. So we knew that was coming. But it really does get me to see somebody who is, like I said, not only from another country, but a country we fought 2 wars against. And it's not just Piers Morgan. There are a few others I noticed. This has become apparent more clearly as of late, telling us, how we should conduct our internal affairs.
No, the globalists bring in foreign propaganda mercenaries to flaunt. No other country would put up with foreigners telling them what to do. It's all about breaking our will, flaunting it in our face. Like that illegal alien that got a free kidney donated to him by Loyola up in Illinois. He said, that's not enough. I want more.
My name is Josh. One World Way is the best in the market, hands down. I'm in the U.S. Navy, and I live a very active lifestyle. Being a vegetarian, it's hard getting all the protein I need. I tried the vegan protein powders, and I just wasn't feeling any change. The Meathead supplement store whey protein kind of worked for a bit, but it left me feeling bloated, and my digestion seemed to slow down. By some divine stroke of luck, I heard a commercial of One World Way on the radio, and it struck my interest. I have to tell you, I am so glad I got it. I have been taking it for a week, and the results are amazing. I don't feel tired when I have to get up at 4:30 a.m. I look and feel better. I recover faster from my 2 workouts a day. When I don't have time to eat good food, I take it, and I don't feel the urge to stuff my face for hours. I got up this morning, and I looked the leanest I've looked since high school. I can go on and on. The best I can do to repay you is buy more and tell my friends.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com.
Hey there, Frank Bates here. Have you heard about the weird device that could wipe out 280 million Americans? This is really scary stuff. Defense experts warn that this odd device poses the gravest threat we've ever known. In fact, just a few weeks ago, former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich wrote an op-ed piece for the Washington Post warning about this deadly threat. I can't believe that more people aren't talking about this. It may be because the liberals and the government are trying to cover it up. That's why my friend just created a free video at weirddevice.com that exposes this threat and blows the doors off the conspiracy. Go watch the shocking video at weirddevice.com right now to discover exactly what it is, plus discover the #1 way you and your family can survive this deadly attack. I'm not sure how long this video will be online, so go to weirddevice.com before it's gone forever. Again, that's weirddevice.com.
Don't throw away leftovers. Instead, throw all your leftovers, vegetable peels, eggshells, coffee grounds, pizza crusts, and more into the bokashi. If you love to garden and compost but don't like the hassle of turning a compost bin or the smell, then check out the EM Bokashi Food Waste Recycling System from Terraganics. Finally, a way to recycle all your food and plant waste safely and effectively and stop using fertilizers. The EM Bokashi Food Waste Recycling System. Rather than decomposition, the Bokashi system uses fermentation to break down waste, so it takes less time to create nutrient-dense humus for crops or gardens with no turning and no obnoxious odors. To learn more and order your Bokashi online, visit Terraganics.com and click on the orange button. That's Terraganics.com, spelled Terraganics.